Oh, yeah.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Matt and Andrew Make a Podcast.
I'm Matt.
I think that's true.
You have something fuzzy on your face.
On my face?
Yep.
Gone?
I don't know. Look that way. Yep.
Okay, it's probably, was it whitish?
Yeah.
It's probably from that shirt I was wearing earlier. Yeah. Okay.
So, marketing.
I think marketing is like bubble gum. If you get the cheap shit, it'll only last 30 seconds.
Okay. Hey, here's where I was going to go.
That doesn't make any sense at all. I just hope you know that. Okay.
Probably one of the greatest marketing strategies I'd ever seen is, do you remember Red Dog beer?
I remember you telling me about Red Dog beer, but I don't remember.
I didn't talk about it on the podcast, so
No.
didn't.
We were driving somewhere, and you told me about like billboards or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for, I don't know, 6 months or maybe more, there were these billboards everywhere, and all it had was just a picture of a red bulldog's face. It was an all-black billboard, red bulldog face in the middle of it. No words, nothing. And they were everywhere, and nobody knew what it was. And then all of a sudden, there's this Red Dog beer on the shelf. But it was in people's brains so much, that shit sold like crazy, and it was absolute garbage. It was disgusting.
So let's say they took a beer that was not absolute garbage, and they did the same thing. Would that be the new Budweiser, Bud Light, Heineken? Like,
Yeah, I
would
think.
at least be in the top 20?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so how do we do that with comedy?
I don't know. I've thought about doing this. I've thought about, out here on I-44, they've got some of those smaller billboards.
Yeah.
Like, I've thought about reaching out and going, hey, I wonder how much these are, and getting one and just putting Matt Farrell comedy, My Peacock comedy, like whatever, just putting it on there. And the social media, like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok logos on it so that people know. And just put it out there.
Just see what happens.
Not advertising a show, not advertising anything in particular, just,
Yeah.
Matt Farrell comedy and see.
I think that might work a little. I mean, I think, okay, when you pay, let's say you're paying Facebook for Facebook ads, and you target a certain area,
Yep.
and then you get messages from guys in fucking Detroit saying, hey, I know because you're advertising a local show, and I do this too, that you don't want the ads hitting me. I'm currently halfway across the fucking country, and all I'm seeing is your ad, so you're wasting money. Like, I get those messages all the time. I don't know how realistic it is to, like, I asked one guy to make sure, also sometimes I think somebody's a bot trying to get me to click on shit, but I asked this guy, I was like, do you use a VPN? And he said, no. He told me what web browser he uses, and I was like, I have my location services on, I'm in marketing, and I know you didn't intentionally make your ad do this. It happens to me all the time. That's why I stopped using Facebook ads. So we already know that. Like, Facebook ads just fucking suck balls now. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I'd say, well, let's say it's $600 a month, and you have to do 3 months. Put that much money in a fucking Facebook ad, is what I would have said like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I don't fucking know what to do. TikTok has an advertising option. My guess on TikTok is if I put $500 to, like, I don't know if it works the same as like Facebook and Instagram where you can boost a post or drive shit or try to get messages. But let's say I want to boost a post and I want my video to get seen by a bunch of people. So I like pay $20 for extra impressions. I bet 1,000 extra bots see it, but I'm guessing there's not really much advertising going on TikTok.
Yeah.
I did hear if you advertise on Twitter, now called X, because people are scared of, like, big companies. Budweiser's not going to advertise on there. Nike's not going to advertise on there. Because it's so buck wild and unregulated, they're worried. Mm-hmm. Apparently, little guys can fucking spend like a penny for what it would be $20 on Facebook for. Like, literally, like thousands and thousands of times cheaper. I don't know if that's currently true. And the guy that said that said this will probably be over in a couple weeks, and that was more than a couple weeks ago. But it wouldn't shock me at all if you went old school with everything, if it worked better than social media, because everybody sees it, but they don't pay attention to it anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, if you see an ad on Instagram, if it's something you're really intrigued by, you're going to look at it. But if you see another F-150 or whatever. You're like, I have an F-150. I know what an F-150 is, and they keep trying to sell me a blue one because all Ford does is fucking tries to sell blue trucks. I don't know why their ads all have fucking blue trucks. Fuck blue trucks. Fuck Ford. I'm just playing, they're fine. But no, I think if you did it right and you went full on like guerrilla marketing, like you did flyers and I guess billboards don't count as guerrilla, but like, how would we do this in the 80s? Take that approach 100% across the board.
Right.
With a big budget, that's the key. I think with a big budget, it would work really good. I think people would be like, if you put Matt Farrell comedy billboards in random places, it might bump up your social media. So what you could do is hit up the digital billboard companies that have them all over the country and go, yeah, we're trying to sell locally, but like we've talked about the Denver area a lot. Just go, Loveland, Denver, Aurora, name a few places that are close-ish to the Denver area, but not stuff that's touching Denver. Just hit up that whole area and then look at your analytics on Instagram and see, or Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I got a stuffy nose. See where those are hitting and see it. You could actually see if your billboards are working. Like if you get new subscribers or followers in those areas, Here, is that rain? That's weird. I don't know if it would be fair to say that here... Is there somebody on the roof?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I can't do a podcast right now. I think it would be almost a waste of money here because I think most people that are into comedy here know who you are.
Right.
So I'd say from Duncan Lawton, Chickasha, Oklahoma City, and if you draw a circle around those an extra 20 miles, anybody that would need to know knows. So it'd be like, it's kind of like why I think my billboard here flopped. I don't think it did anything. Like, I was like, it should drive some more traffic because people drive by and be like, oh yeah, Avenue's there. I think everybody knows Avenue's here. I thought maybe new people at Fort Sill or whatever. I don't know. Advertising's tricky. Like, people have to want what you're selling or you have to really be selling it. Mm-hmm. And the way I like to advertise is try to find people that want it, not try to make them. Like, if you're a big company, you go, of course people don't need a fucking grabber claw thing to reach up there. They could just have a step stool, but people will want it if we tell them how good it is.
Right.
I try to do more of the advertising. You already wanted the grabber. I have the best grabber. Like, you want comedy. You want entertainment. I'm not trying to advertise to people that like comedy. I'm trying to advertise to people that enjoy going out and doing stuff. So I feel like if you put it on a billboard, I would put it on a billboard in Arkansas, Kansas, the DFW area, or something like that, and plan shows in that area and just see if anything changes. Or do the digital thing. I think the digital thing, like, I've never seen a comedian's name on a billboard. Like, I've never been, like, driving down the highway and been like, who's Ricky Gervais?
Yeah.
Like, I would assume that means because, like, first off, it seems like billboards are local only. And then second, I have on, like, the Riverwind Casino and shit.
Right, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I've never seen somebody do their own advertising on a billboard. So I think the fact that that stands out that much would work. I think if I drove by it, and I'm, like, not me, I'm just kind of, like, I think comedy's cool. But I'm not a comedy nerd. And I'm driving down the road, and I look up, and I see Matt Farrell Comedy. I've never heard your name. I think I would feel compelled to look it up because it's just really out of what I'm used to seeing on billboards.
Yeah.
I don't think that I'm confident enough I would gamble $1,000 to $5,000 on it.
Right.
That's the downside. It's like
here's
everything
my other problem with this is my drawback to it, or my hesitation, is my wife drives that highway going to and from work every day. So she drives past those billboards twice a day, every day. When I was trying to tell her what billboards I was talking about, she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So then the next time we're coming into town, I point them out, and she goes, I never even noticed those were there. She's worked at the same place for 15 plus years.
We're talking about on the really close to native land right before Love's, right?
Nope.
Then maybe I'm talking about a different.
I'm talking about, it is native land, just this side of JPL Studios. You pass them on your way home every night.
Oh, like if I'm headed home from here, I see them on the left side of the road, and there was a free concert advertised on it, and it's still up.
Yep.
Okay, I thought you were talking about as I'm coming into town from Elgin, like right before you get to Love's, there's a bunch that are like, I would say medium.
Yeah. Yeah, I know which ones you're talking about.
I can tell you what's on those right now, though. It's like a 899 or 988 suicide prevention hotline for Native Americans. Another Native American one that says domestic violence is not our culture or something like that. And then at one point, Affinity had one out there. I think there's a semi-truck parked out there that's an advertising for, probably not anymore, but a guy that was running for Senate. JJ or DD or Ball or Dick.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah, fuck, something like that. Yeah, so like when I thought I knew what you're talking about, I know, and then when you're telling me those, I also know. So it's just like, I notice billboards. Tana doesn't, but Tana probably would if she never drove by them and then was driving out. Like, if I'm out of town driving somewhere, I notice billboards all the time. In Dallas, they have these billboards that are fucking hilarious that, God, the jalapeno shit. We gotta stop eating Taco Bell before every episode. All right, so if you're in the DFW area, I see billboards that say things like, one of them said, masculinity is not for men or something weird. Like, it was a bunch of weird things that were like super like extreme over the top woke propaganda. And then if you look them up, it's actually a Republican group trying to make the other side look crazy.
Right.
And they're proud of it. Like, they're claiming the billboards. They're like, look at what we did, this is funny. And they're just putting really dumb quotes like having a penis doesn't make you a man. Being manly does. Or so, just weird, you're like, what the fuck? And then there was another one I saw also in the Dallas area that said, I defend child predators, with a picture of an attorney and her office phone number and her name. And I was like, well, that's a bold fucking, there's no way. Like, to be an attorney.
There's no way she paid for that herself.
Yeah. Her competitor paid for it. They were both running for some political office.
That's
And they were both
wild.
attorneys. They were like both running for like attorney general or state's attorney or something. And so they both have the same job and their competitors in their job, and they're both running for the same thing. So the guy pulled one case where she defended a sex offender, which, like, how do we know if the guy's guilty if he doesn't go to court?
Yeah.
Like,
anybody that's done any kind of public defending has had to defend somebody that they didn't want
right.
to.
But so if you're a top tier defense attorney and somebody comes to you and says, here's the thing I'm accused of, it's not even your job to figure out if they did it or not. It is your job to do your best to defend them. That being said, I think a lot of people go, I think this guy did it. It's a really heinous crime. I don't want to take this case. I think you're allowed to do that. But, like, it sounds like the lady did her job, and then the guy's doing a smear campaign and spending billboard money on it.
Yeah.
That being said, fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Here's my favorites is you go through Tulsa and Miami and all that, like going to Missouri.
You pronounced it wrong.
Well, it depends on what state you're in. You get into Missouri.
Yeah.
Now, you're driving through Missouri, every exit there's a porn shop.
I know.
Here's what I love is there's a billboard, and it's for, Big D's Porn Emporium or whatever, next exit. They're double stacked billboards. The one on top is Jesus hates porn.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
And stuff like that. And then the next one you get to is, Johnny's Dildo Shop, next exit. And then the one on top of that is the Lord said that you should spill no seed. Like, it just so it's funny.
Like, it'll be like a masturbation verse.
Yeah, it's like boom, 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 boom. Every one of them.
So, now I know we've talked about geography a lot, and I'm great at it. But are we going the same way as the place that throws bread at you? Towards, like...
Oh, was it Lambert's?
Lambert's.
Yeah.
I remember around that area going, holy fuck. There's truck stops with XXX on the top of them. I Googled one because it's signage and billboard combination. I was like, I gotta see what this is. I now have a hobby of reading reviews of trucks. I didn't know there was a truck stop / adult store. I didn't know they overlapped. But it's like a place, it's not, you can't get fuel there. You just pull off to rest for a little bit, and they have, if you want a hot tub or a bed or a room that has a bed. I was like, this seems fucking crazy. But they can't be like a whorehouse. And then I read the reviews, and I deduced from reading the reviews that they have hookers just walking around in there. They don't facilitate any deals. They just give you a place to do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a great business model. The reviews are beautiful, though, because one of them was like, there was something weird floating in the hot tub. And I'm like, you want to say it in the review. You want to say there was a hefty load just spinning around. It was like in the public hot tub.
Yeah.
It didn't say a condom.
Yeah.
It said something like there was like some kind of weird substance was floating around. I think it was something like that. And I was just like, God. And then I read another one. TVs are pretty small, and you don't get to choose what type of videos are playing on them. So beware if you go to this side, like you go to the left side, east side, something, you might see some things you're not into if you're a heterosexual male. I'm like, oh, so they have gay porn playing on some TVs.
Yeah.
Like,
so
it was wild.
I don't like going in porn shops.
Now. I want to go in one.
I don't like going in porn shops. Like I don't like going in Adam and Eve's. I don't like going in Christie's toy boxes. I don't know why. They just make me uncomfortable.
It's a lot of stuff that's supposed to be private that's on the wall.
Yeah, and I'm just like, huh. And I was always afraid that my grandparents were going to drive by and see my truck in a parking lot.
I get that.
So, now, I don't have to worry about that now. But anyway, we're driving through.
R.I.P.
You just did it like it was a good meal in Italy. You're like, you gave him the old Catholic cross, and then you said, "Mamma mia."
Let me hit it again.
You're like you spit a kiss in your hand and throw it at him or something.
Let me hit that again real quick. Mwah. I'll make it better.
So anyway, we're driving. I go into St. Louis to pick up a car for my brother-in-law.
To be clear, St. Louis is in Missouri.
Yes.
Geography.
Same highway.
Hit it.
I-44.
Lambert's.
On the way back, or on the way up there, I got a buddy with me. He loves those kind of shops. And he's like, oh, let's stop at this next one. And I'm like, I'm not doing it.
He loves them like for the novelty, or he buys a lot?
Like he buys shit and,
All right.
And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Well, so we go all the way to St. Louis. Now we got a car loaded up. We're coming back. And he keeps going. And finally he hits me with, he goes, dude, we're in another state, 6 hours from home.
Your grandparents are dead.
Nobody's ever going to see this. Like, you're good. And I was like, all right, like, fine. We'll stop in this one. So we pull in. This motherfucker acts like a little kid at Chuck E. Cheese. He runs to the front door.
Okay.
Like, he is excited. By the time I get inside, there is a life-size doll that's made of like some kind of foam or something.
Okay.
That's in a sexual position, and it's in a big plastic case, but it's got a hole in the case so that you can reach in and feel it to see how realistic it feels. So by the time I get inside, he's already in there. He's got his hand inside this plastic case, finger blasting this sex doll that's on display going, you gotta feel this shit. And I'm like, oh my God, stop touching shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm super. Now we get in here and this place is like, remember Hastings?
Yeah.
It looked like I was inside of a Hastings. Like it was just rows of shelves and it just had movies and all kinds. So I'm walking, I'm like, oh my God, this is wild. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy this DVD. Like, I feel like if you just go in there and walk around, it's even creepier than going in and buying something.
I feel like you're right now that you say that. But the only times I've been in sex shops, I was just browsing, which in hindsight is the creepiest shit I've ever done in my life, and I never thought about it.
So I pick up this DVD. It's called Let's Make a Squeal.
Okay.
I'm walking to the front. As I'm walking up there, I realize that the lady working behind the counter is smoking hot.
That's nice.
And I'm like, that makes it more awkward. Like this smoking hot chick, I got to go up there and go, yeah, I got to buy a movie and do it myself because I can't get, I don't know. It's just my head's fucking with me. Gets even worse though. I set it down. I'm expecting her to stand up and walk to the counter to check me out. She just turns her wheelchair around and comes to me. She's in a wheelchair and I don't know why. That made it 1,000,000 times worse.
Okay, remind me when you're done with the story that we got to talk about bitches in wheelchairs. Go ahead.
Okay. Pay for that. This guy finally catches up to me. He's got like a fucking grocery cart full of shit. Get in the truck. We're driving. Very next exit, he's like, ooh, let's stop at this one. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We're not stopping at all of these along the way. And he goes, come on, we got like just... So I don't stop at that one. I'm like 3 more exits, and he's begging to stop at all. And so like, finally, I pull into another one. We get in this one, and it's one of the ones that has booths.
Yeah.
Here's what bothered me about this one. As soon as you walked in, it smelled like cum.
Oh.
Like
Okay.
you walk in the front door of this place,
Which smells like bleach. Glad you know.
and it was like,
So they just clean really
ugh,
good.
like what the...
They clean really good. Just tell yourself they clean really good.
Oh.
How'd that one go?
I did not stay very long.
Okay. So now
I didn't touch anything.
can we talk about wheelchairs?
Keeping my hands in my pockets, which is another thing that looks
Yeah.
really creepy when you're
Yeah,
walking
but
around.
also
with
if
these
you
two-
like anything you do with your hands, you're like, that seems awkward. This is not a good place for your hands. If you put your hands in your pocket,
I think if you just walk through in a good karate stance the whole time, maybe.
what if you like hold stuff and you kind of hold it out as if it guides you? Like you just take things and no, okay, so
Okay, ladies in wheelchairs.
ladies in wheelchairs. All right. First off, there's a guy, old comic a long time ago with the best joke about this ever. He goes, so my wife was telling me about this hall pass thing, and they were talking about for celebrities, not like a weekend like the movie. And he was like, so basically what it is you can pick any person you want, and if you ever get an opportunity to have sex with them, you get a pass. It's not cheating. You get to go have fun. So my wife picked Antonio Banderas. And I was like, can you give me a few minutes to think about it? I'm going to come up with a good one. And then she said yes. And then he said, okay, I got it. When's our babysitter turn 18?
Yeah.
So there's... At one point, Brandy and I had that discussion, and this was when Kat Von D was cool. And I liked Kat Von D back then.
Yeah.
I don't really anymore. And I was like, I guess if I had to pick one, probably Kat Von D. So apparently, once you lock that in, that's that. I don't even remember who hers was. It better not be fucking John Mulaney. Anyway, that bitch get fucking slapped for some John Mulaney. She fucking was she said, let's have sex with the TV on tonight. And I was like, okay, what do we just like put Friends on in the background? And she was like, John Mulaney. I'm joking. She didn't do that.
Yeah.
That would be funny as fuck. No, okay. So the hall pass thing, it's a constant thing people talk about. And almost every couple's had this discussion. They have like right now, if I had to pick one, and you said they have to be famous, I actually don't know who it would be. Mm-hmm. But if they didn't have to be famous, it would be this lady I saw at the Chickasha Lights in a fucking wheelchair while I was ice skating. I don't know what it was about her. I've only seen one attractive person in a wheelchair my entire life. The second closest thing...
Did she work in a porn shop in Missouri?
She looked like she had to have. She looked like if she was filming the porn, I would be there. I've never seen somebody more attractive with any noticeable handicap in my life. And I was like, if this bitch didn't have a wheelchair under her, she would run the world.
Yeah.
Like, that being said, I think it's just because I like short women. I don't know, because it puts them down there. But no, there's been like maybe 10 moments in my entire life where I'm like trying to do something with the kids and I'm just like, oh. And like, I just can't stop being weird. I'm trying to not be weird. And I go, oh, she probably thinks I'm looking at her because she's in a wheelchair. Should I go up and tell her that I just am really attracted to her? No, I probably shouldn't do that. Should I mention? No, okay, definitely don't do that. I went over everything in my head to not be weird for staring at her. And then eventually I fucking just was a grown-up and I just didn't look directly at her for a little while, and then she disappeared and I was sad. I don't know her name, but if Brandy ever said, hey, you get to let loose on one, I would learn so much about fucking disabilities. I'd be like, all right, can her cooter feel what I'm doing? A. B, how clean could it possibly be? There's all kinds of shit I would have to study.
How clean?
How clean could you keep your cooter when you sit in a chair all day?
You think it gets more dirty from sitting in a chair?
She can't move right, and it doesn't have airflow around it.
I think you're overthinking that one.
I'm just saying, if it were to happen, like if I got a hall pass, and it's this lady in the wheelchair, and I'm getting ready to do it, I got 3 weeks of research before I get in there. Minimum. I got to take time off work and get on the computer and typey and listen to podcasts and go, okay, you've never fucked anybody in a wheelchair, right?
No.
You never fucked anybody that's confined to a wheelchair. I should reword that. I stole a motherfucking wheelchair and fucked his wife. No, okay. Realistically, though, like, there's gotta be some differences in how you perform things.
Well, I think it depends on, like, the
assuming-
reason for being in a wheelchair.
Look like fully paralyzed from the waist down.
Yeah. So now, that doesn't always mean that they don't have feeling, though.
Right. I've been told most of the time they have feeling where it's important.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you got to consider, like, all right, when it's a girl that can walk, it's real cute to fucking hug them and pick them up and throw them on the fucking washing machine. When you're coming from down here, I got lower back issues. You know what I'm saying? I got to pick this bitch
You're
up.
strapping on your weight belt.
So I'm
lift
thinking
with your legs.
I might need my strong ass wife to help me pick her up. I'm just saying, there's some things to be considered. Also, she had a regular wheelchair, which means she's not a professional. The professionals have them tilted wheels. She had a standard. I'm like, you need to get, bitch, I want you to be able to maneuver. So there's that. If I ever get a hall pass, I'm going to find out how paralyzed that bitch really is.
Okay.
Is that fucked up?
No.
Is it weird that the wheelchair, like the fact that she's like a 10 in a wheelchair made her like an 11? Does that make sense?
It does, and I don't know why. I understand what you're saying. I don't know
You're going,
why.
despite something that should make you slightly less attractive, you're still... I was like, if a girl is a 10, but she's cross-eyed, how the fuck did that happen? You know what I'm saying?
There's no way that happens. That's impossible.
I know one lady.
Dude, cross-eyed? Cross-eyed? I can't, dude. I can't. I'm so bad. And Tana makes fun. Like, Tana will find out somebody that's cross-eyed and then send me to go talk to him just so she can see me react.
I got one for you.
Because I'm like, oh. Like, it has to be noticeable, too. Because, like, I won't even look at them.
Soon, we have to go to a place that I have been a lot to go get some of their services. It's nothing weird. If I say what kind of services, this is like normal shit you would go do.
Okay.
It's somewhere you and I wouldn't go there together normally, but it'd be like going to buy a hoodie, except this place provides a service.
So, like a massage parlor?
No. Haircut would be closer.
Okay.
Okay. But it's somewhere we could go.
Yeah.
And I could, within the next 3 months, with having this conversation, still get you in the door, introduce you to this lady. You wouldn't know it was coming until you go, whoa! It is the craziest. All right. Let me run this for you. Do you know what thyroid eye disease is? I only know it from the commercials, but it's where people are really bug-eyed, like their eyes push up.
Oh, fuck.
All right.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Dude. Imagine if you took a glass eye that belonged to, like, Andre the Giant, and you put it in Mila, but her eye was behind it. Like, her eyes are just out of her head, and one of them's... Dude. It looks like somebody took a baseball... I'll be real. It looks like somebody took a normal golf ball and painted an eyeball on it on the front on this one and on the side on this one. And then it just kind of moves on its own. And that's not even the craziest part of her face.
What on her face could be worse than that?
It's a lot. I can't go into specifics in case, because it's in town. And I don't want to be mean.
How have I not heard about this?
It's pretty fucking wild, dude.
Dude, I feel so bad when I react to other people's, like if they got a handicap or something,
Right.
And I get out of composure and like, ooh, shit, like, you know, like I feel bad for that.
Right, but it happened. This
I'm
one,
gonna tell you something. This I
you
don't
would
know
be
why.
fucked.
I don't know why this bothers me worse. Somebody that's cross-eyed like this, it bothers me worse when it's somebody that's like this.
yeah,
Like when it's just one eye, that's just
yeah. Like cross-eyed, like they're both looking in a little, isn't as hard to look
But
at.
still, I don't like it.
I don't like it. One,
But when it's just one and that son bitch is fucking buried into the bridge of the nose, I'm like, what the
thing is,
fuck?
I think there has to be a surgery for this. Like there almost has to be.
It feels like it's just like a tendon that needs to be
that's exactly what I was
cut.
thinking. Is you gotta,
It's like, oh, that son bitch can
you gotta
relax
tighten
now.
or loosen something.
Yeah.
I would be, if I looked like this, I would be happy to lose the vision in one eye and know that's going to fuck up some depth perception. To just, you know,
How do you
be normal from here to here.
How do you not just wear sunglasses all the time?
I would. So, thyroid eye disease, they have commercials all the time where they're showing like a lady that has sunglasses on to cover up her eyes, and then it shows her taking them off like, oh, I fixed it. I can show myself now. And then it goes, go to our website to see before and after pictures of Tammy's fucking crazy face. And you go, all right, cool. So,
God, I wish that's exactly word for word what it says.
it's pretty close.
That'd be great.
It uses their name, and it says go to, like, it's never Tammy, but go to tedhelp.com to see before and after pictures of Lisa's eyes. It's probably a little closer.
Yeah.
Boy, those commercials fuck me up, though, because I have the same thing. I don't, cross-eyed, bug-eyed, whatever, it freaks me out a little.
Have you seen that guy on the internet that goes and like pushes his eyes
Yeah.
out? Like they're in normal.
I thought you were talking about the guy that looks like he's holding a fart in, and it's just a meme. He's in classes just...
No.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Like there's a video on YouTube. It's this guy and he does like he'll turn and look at you and
Yeah.
he can make his eyes pop out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
This lady needs to learn to do it the opposite way, because her eyes already pop
Yeah,
out.
she should.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, right now talking about it, I'm looking at the size of your eyes, and I didn't even think about... Her eyes are bigger than they're supposed to be. Like, I can tell from looking at how your eyes fit about how big they are. Like, if you pulled it out of your head, I think I wouldn't be shocked at the size.
But I feel like eyeballs are about the size of a golf ball, aren't they?
I'd say that big.
Is that small?
I'd say a $50 around. Not a golf ball, I think, is a little bigger.
I feel like it takes. I don't know. I thought they were bigger than that, and we just see part of them.
I'll ask. Yeah, no, I'm saying, I think I got a general idea though.
Yeah.
Let's say it is a golf ball. You shouldn't see 97% of the golf ball.
That's for true.
I shouldn't be able to tell the full shape of your eye from the side of your face. Like you shouldn't from a profile. It's fucking wild. So if cross-eyed bothers you, we got to go visit some people.
Okay.
I'll
just know I'm not going to handle it
I'll
appropriately.
tell Tana how to get it done.
Okay.
Because, like, I'll double check, make sure she's still working in the same place.
Oh, Tana loves seeing me uncomfortable.
It's fucking wild.
I had a buddy growing up, and his mom was always like, she was never inappropriate with me when I was a child.
But
like,
as soon as you turned 17?
She liked to give me extra long hugs.
She had tickle bitties?
She'd pinch me on the ass when I walked by. She'd always say like off the wall shit, and Tana loves it because it makes me so uncomfortable. I'm just like, eh. But she's like, I still feel like I have to go and give her a hug. Like, hey,
Right.
how are you? Like, I'll go and give her a hug, and then she always says something inappropriate, and Tana can just watch me from across the room and see me get uncomfortable, and she eats it up. She loves that shit.
I wish I had somebody in my family that was trying to half fuck me. That'd be pretty cool.
I'm not related to her.
Oh, I thought it was like your aunt.
No, it's a guy I grew up with. It's his mom.
Close enough. I wish I had a hot aunt that was kind of a pervert.
Dude, it's not raining. There's got to be somebody on your roof.
What animal could be up there that's like a possum or something? Would that make that much noise?
I don't know.
It'd be hilarious if there was a couple on a roof doing grown-up things.
It would suck. It would be a shit situation.
I think it'd be a great situation.
But how funny would it be if we're just sitting here and all of a sudden Slappy Stompy or whatever you called him, that motherfucker just fell through and landed right there on the other side of the stage.
I'd start with, I don't think he's paying for shit.
Yeah.
I don't think most people... I call him Stompy Sneezy. That would be great. I think it would be worth the story.
It would be great because we would be caught on camera, our reaction to somebody
Yeah.
just coming through the roof.
And then I could grab my phone real quick and hit like, hey, that's what the reaction's to, edit together, it goes viral, we're cool. Also, if that were to happen, I think we could patch a hole in this piece of shit roof with just plywood and duct tape, and my landlord wouldn't even know. Like, I think we could fix it in a weekend for $800. Like, I don't think it'd be a big deal.
Besides the lady in the wheelchair,
Okay.
is there any other handicap that intrigues you?
The wheelchair doesn't intrigue me. The fact that she's in a wheelchair and she's fucking gorgeous does.
Right.
Like, if I don't know. I tried to write a bit about this, but it just sounded hateful. Like, why aren't there more really attractive people that are handicapped? Like, because it's an accident a lot of times. Like, Greg Abbott, the fucking governor or whatever the fuck. God, that's creepy. He wasn't born that way.
No, a tree fell
A tree fell on him. I'm saying, like, why don't bad things happen to beautiful people? That's the premise would be, I've only seen one attractive person in a wheelchair ever. But then it sounds like I'm saying if you're in a wheelchair, you're ugly as fuck.
Right.
Also, like, how is she in shape? Like, her legs look good, dude. Like, what the fuck is going on? So,
Okay.
intrigues me. Are you saying if I had, like, if Brandy didn't exist and I had to marry a lady with a handicap, what handicap would I pick?
Yeah, I'm just like, are there any like, dude?
I bet I look really good to blind bitches. I'm hot
Dude,
as
have
fuck.
you seen some of these midgets nowadays?
I think we're supposed to say LPs.
I don't give a shit.
I've seen the meme that says,
Oh, you haven't seen them on Instagram?
No.
Like doing their, like a midget twerking. First of all, midgets are always bow-legged, so that looks a little bit funny. Mm-hmm. But some of these midgets are, dude, they're built.
all right, here's what I saw. I saw a meme my brother sent me that said, Mom, like, it's like a text bubble for Mom saying, eat your nuggets. Me, they're too hot. The nuggets. And it was a bunch of fucking little people that were like dressed as strippers about to go on stage. And they were pretty attractive.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever thought, I mean, good news is, I don't think I'll run into the problem of like bumping into one in the wild and be like, little shorty.
You bump into one at a D&D convention.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about that. A physical thing?
Parkinson's would be handy.
Yeah, handy, I get it, pun. Because they give you one. Deaf and blind. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever
What do you
seen
think a deaf person sounds like having an orgasm?
Same. No, realistically, it's almost got to be the same because if you're doing it right, that is a natural sound that just comes out. You know what I'm saying? It's not from training. Like, I don't think girls study how to sound like that unless they're faking it a lot.
I think that a lot of them are faking it a lot.
I think a lot of them are faking it. The reason I think this might be too much information for the internet. There's been times where I tried really hard and she's just like, we'll be fine. Otherwise I'd be like, of course, these have to be fake. I can't be that good.
You'll just get me next time.
It took a long time to get consistent where I was like, this combination opens the safe, this combination opens the safe, and this combination also will open the safe.
Right.
There was a time where I was putting all the numbers on that motherfucker, spinning the fucking dial, using my fingerprints, fucking trying to pull the handle anyway. I mean, I was calling locksmiths. It took a minute. But it's still like, this is just what I've heard. It might be girls being honest, or being dishonest to be nice. It probably all still feels good even if they don't get there, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're licking and sticking and poking and stroking and it's still cool. It's like if you gave me 80% and I just never ejaculated, if I know how to take care of that in the bathroom, that's definitely still better than nothing.
Yeah.
So I think most of the time what guys are doing is getting them mostly there. I really do think that's one advantage to being with the same person for a long time. I think if you threw a random vagina on my face, I got a 30% shot of being able to get it on the first try. And that's with unlimited time. I just think that's just how it is. I don't think all the fucking combos are the same. I think there's one key ingredient, and that's this. I think that might help. But no, I've had this discussion with a bunch of clients. What do you think about women faking orgasms? Like, this is probably how we have to end this episode. We're already at 40 minutes, but like, what? If you're in a long, and I don't mean long term, like for sure this is going to work out, but if you're dating somebody, it's not a one night stand, and you fake an orgasm, and you're a girl, what does that do for the relationship that's good?
I agree with you. I don't think that, like, don't fake it. Like, if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. Let me know.
Oh yeah, because
so that way, like, we can fix it.
I've tattooed a bunch
But
of
if
girls.
you're faking it and I think I'm doing a good job, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. Yeah.
Yes. I've tattooed several women that are having discussions with all their gal pals in the shop. Going, I gotta fake it because he sucks. He's got a little dick. I'm like, y'all are fucking nuts. One time we were at the shop, 3 women. I wasn't even tattooing any of them. We're just loudly talking about how they have to fake orgasms because their men suck. And I was like, the first time you were with him, did you, like, universal question for all of you, did you fake it? Yes. Did he do the same thing again? Yes. Do you think it might be your fault? No, he just sucks in bed. I'm like, okay, let me compare it to something else. I don't remember what I said, but I came up with an analogy. Something like, if I taught my child how to buckle their seatbelt, and I told them the right way to buckle the seatbelt was to fucking stick it in the door handle over here, not even over you. When we have a car wreck, what's that going to do? And they were like, your kid's going to die. I'm like, same. Your fucking relationship's going to die because he's going to keep doing the same thing, thinking he's doing a good job. You're going to be mad at him. You're going to resent him for years. You're going to talk shit about him to your friends. And he's doing his best, doing exactly what you told him, even though you didn't say words, what you told him he should do. And they're like, no, he should just know. And I'm like, you're all bragging about how good you are at faking it. Like, this is fucking insane. You're all, like, every relationship you do that, and you're doomed. It's really unfair to you and him. Mm-hmm. And they all looked at me like I was a fucking complete douchebag. And I didn't give a fuck because I thought it needed to be said. I've been told that's not polite. But I think in bed and in life, honesty is the best policy. I think telling them that is the equivalent to not faking an orgasm in my relationship with them. They might not like hearing it, but now they know I'm not a fucking idiot, and I'm not gonna, like, if they were my friends, I'm not gonna steer them down the wrong path.
Right.
Intentionally, at least.
It's also the same thing as what you had said in an earlier episode where you said if there's something that bothers you, go ahead and get it out in the open. Don't let it build up and become something you resent. It's the same. If you don't tell me that you don't like me to do that, I'm going to keep doing it because I didn't know you didn't like it. If you tell me that this is getting you off,
I'm going to keep doing it.
I'm going to keep doing that. So if it doesn't work and you told me it did, that's on you.
Now, I will say I had one client. This was really interesting. She was... now, I think communication is an issue with everybody. I think every couple, like, I know I'm bad at telling anybody anything, like, if it's uncomfortable. That being said, if you give me an opportunity, I'm just like, let me get it out of my system right now. Like, if you were to ask me a direct, like, let's say hypothetically, we'd been doing the nasty because we're in a sexual relationship.
Okay.
And we get done and you said, did you like that thing I did with my tongue? I would immediately go, no, that was weird as fuck. I wouldn't go, yeah. Also, I'm just not a good liar. I think I'm a good liar on stage because it's not lying.
Yeah,
like,
you're telling a story.
Yeah. I think I'm not good at telling people things that I don't believe. So on stage, I believe it because I believe it to be funny. Mm-hmm. Like, I have to shift in my head when I get on stage or I can't do it. There was something there. Orgasms, butts, lying. I'll let you take this one. What else is there on that?
It's like you said, communication is key.
Client. I had a client that was going through a divorce. She's very nice. I used to work with her husband. I tattooed her. She came in at about 9 p.m. He didn't know that at the time this was normal for me. She goes, hey, do you have time for a walk-in? I was like, if it's really small. And she goes, I want a rose like this big. And I was like, for real? And I love roses. So I was like, yeah, I could stay an extra 3.5 to 4 hours at 9 p.m. on it. Like, I did that every night if I could, because it's like an extra $500 or something. So I only charged her $500 for a 4-hour tattoo, which at the time was more than $100 an hour, which $100 an hour is normal. So it was like, not cheap. Her husband texted me and said, hey, I really appreciate you hooking her up, whatever. And I thought that was weird because the whole time I was tattooing her, she was telling me they're going through a divorce, their sex life's terrible, he's really crazy, he's bad with money, he's got a gambling problem, all this shit. And I was like, I understand you're saying this because you're going through a divorce. But she said, really, the biggest thing was he was just like really bad in bed. And that's when I immediately go, okay, now I don't believe anything you're saying. Because if you're married for fucking 15 years and one of the biggest problems was he was really bad in bed, that would have probably been brought up like 14 years ago. I don't think you're going to get tired of fucking the same person because it's the same and it's boring every time years later. Then she went on to tell me he also does weird stuff, like he's always trying to bring toys in the bedroom, and I'm like, it sounds like he's trying to make shit fucking fun. Like, she kept telling me things that I was like, I personally agree. I think, like, if you don't talk about it and you just show up and be like, hey, can you put this in your butt? I'd be like, that's weird. But, like, at the time, I'm hearing her complaining about things, and it sounds like somebody, have you ever heard somebody go, oh, man, so my Bentley's just, every time I got to go all the way to Oklahoma City. Lights changed in here, right?
I didn't notice it if it did.
Okay. Something keeps, there's ghosts. I got to drive all the way to Oklahoma City, and my assistant has to go with me, and I don't like having him drive, but then I can't even get my foot massage at the place because there's not enough space for me, and I get a foot massage every 2 hours, and he's not even that good at it. And last week we had to pay $20 million in taxes because we made so much money last year. And you're just like, okay, I understand you have different problems than me.
Yeah.
It sounded like that in a relationship. It sounded like, yes, he has problems. Yes, he's flawed. But everything she said that was a negative sounded like a guy that was trying really hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. Because I didn't even like that guy. I thought he was a fucking douchebag. But hearing his wife describe what a terrible husband he was made him sound like a good husband.
Yeah.
Because it sounded so dishonest to me.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing was like, and the sex is terrible. He's always trying to do weird stuff. Like he tried to bring some toys in. I'm like, he probably thought you thought the sex was terrible and was trying to figure out because you won't tell him what his thing is. And now you get half his shit and he's sad. Like that's the fucking conclusion when you don't talk about shit. So now I gotta go home and tell Brandy that I'm gay. I kept a pretty straight face for that.
This has been Matt and Andrew Make a Podcast.
That's Matt. I'm gay.
True story.
Not true.